VEDA Day 4, and today is going to be a little bit of car talk, so come ride with me. Let's see. Let me get out of this space. Let me get out into the street, and I can concentrate. So, yep, it is Wednesday. I believe it's April 4th. Should be. It's VEDA Day 4. Look. And, I am off to work. I am a little bit behind today. I don't really have to punch in until 8:30. But, I like to try and get in a little bit earlier, but I'm not gonna make it today. And anyway, on my way in today is it's my busiest day of the week, and it is probably the day I dislike the most. But hey, what can you do? I'm grateful to have a job. So, last night was a challenging night. I have a friend that, after I signed off, I ended up getting a phone call that a friend is going through something really tough, someone I really love a lot, and it's just painful, and just praying for things to hopefully be able to get healed and get better. But anyway, it just made me think a lot about how we live. And I think that one of today's buzzwords is intentional, or buzz phrase is intentional living. And I just think that really in America it is so fast paced, and in particular parts of America, this one being one, is even faster than other parts. Like, I think I'm from Chicago, and I thought that was fast paced, and I visited New York, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And over out here in LA, it's about, the same. It's just, we are moving and shaking, and working hard, paying bills, and just super busy. And when you're super busy, it gets a little bit challenging to be intentional. I needed something to drink. I'll be right back. Oh, these are not. I have some of these LaCroix waters in my car, but this is not that cold, and I really like cold. But that's okay. I'm still gonna drink it because I'm kind of thirsty. So, yeah, we run around. We go from point A to point B to point C to point D, all the time. Sorry, my car is super loud. And it's just, to be intentional in that kind of environment is super hard. And in order to, my grapes almost slid off the seat next to me. But in order to really live intentionally, you have to take the time to choose your intentions. And we need to intentionally love ourselves, which means taking care of our physical bodies, eating well, getting rest, pursuing things that feeds our souls. There's so many things like that we're running around here. Some of us, I don't do this, but some people work more than 40 hours a week. Now, I already think 40 hours a week is way too much to be able to do all the other things that I want to do. So it's just hard. We need to be intentional about loving the people that we have partnered ourselves with. If I, got married or I've been with somebody for a while, but I got married personally more than 15 years ago, and on that day, I made a commitment. But I realized that after you make that commitment, you have to be making that commitment daily. You know, you have to, as the years go on, continue to make that commitment and to continue to be intentional. I'm reading a book called Operation Happiness, which is different from the Happiness Project. And I'm actually listening to it. And like that's one of the things she said in there about loving someone for a lifetime is all about being intentional. It is not automatic. It is not, excuse me, sorry. It is not something that will just last just because you made that commitment, excuse me, on the day of your wedding or on the day that you fell in love. If you don't, continue to make that commitment, other stuff creeps in. And it's just such a great reminder for me as I'm listening to this book. And, the last several years, I have just seen so many of my friends just really challenged in this area. And when I look at the pace at which we are all living, I find it like I'm looking like, when do you have time to be intentional? You have to make the time. You have to intend to be intentional, And so I'm going to challenge myself, to do exactly that in my relationships with my husband, with my son first. Actually, first, truly with God. I feel like, I'm a Christian. I committed my life to living to God years ago. But I feel like even that, I haven't been intentional in that commitment. And I haven't done anything crazy outside of that commitment, but I feel like I'm leaving myself vulnerable to that if I don't get it together. I just saw one of my son's classmates' father just drove past their house and he's outside, but I don't think he saw me. I waved, but he didn't see me. Anyway, yeah, I just feel like I gotta do some more, things, and I need to prioritize and that kind of thing. So, so that's another intentional thing. My relationship with God, intentional in my business. I have an Etsy shop that I think it's kind of suffered because in February I sort of switched gears and I became super intentional about the way that I'm eating. And it took that month. It really took that all my attention to figure out how to stop, just grabbing the easy thing and making sure that the refrigerator and the pantry were filled with things that I could cook and eat. And then all the time that it does take to cook. But it's totally worth it. I feel better. My clothes are not pinching me. I haven't lost 1,000,000 pounds, but it's coming off slowly, and that's good. That's good, because every day when I decide that what I'm gonna eat, I'm very intentional. So now I need to get back to being intentional about my business as well. So it's just a few areas that I need to grow in and that I plan to grow in. And you hate for tragic situations to remind you of that. So I really want to sort of live this way. I have several of my friends who are young widows or widowers. I have people that are under 50 years old that have already lost their spouses. And you just don't think that you're going to go through that. But no one knows. They didn't think they were going to go through it either. And I just think that you live through this life and not really looking at what's important, nitpicking things that don't matter. So, and I want to cherish, every moment that I have with my family. I want to celebrate a 50th wedding anniversary with my husband, and I tell this to my son. I want you to be there. I'm going to be super, uber, uber old by then. So you're probably going to have to hold me up, but I want to be there, and I want to be celebrating 50 years of marriage with my husband. I want to, see my grandchildren. I want to live a really good and full life, and moving at the speed of light is just not the way to do it, I don't think. Anyway, that is all that I'm going to share with you guys today on this VEDA Day 4. Thanks for chatting with me. Thanks for riding with me. And let's, if you're going to comment down below, tell me something that you are habitually intentional about. Alright? If you like what you see and you like spending time with me, please come back. Please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. Thanks, guys.